There comes a moment in every person's life when they can no longer escape the truth that everything they desire, everything they fear, and everything they have become is the direct reflection of the order or disorder within their own mind. You can change your house, your job, your relationships, your habits, but until you put your life in divine order, nothing truly changes. The world outside will always mirror the storm within. And so I ask you now, are you ready to bring order to the unseen realm of your own being? Because when you do, everything changes. The first step toward reclaiming your life is not to run faster, not to work harder, but to become still enough to see clearly. Clarity is power. When your vision is clear, distractions lose their hold. You stop reacting to life and begin directing it. Most people are not living, they are merely responding to the noise around them. But you were not born for reaction, you were born for creation. To create, you must be aligned. To be aligned, you must first master detachment. Detachment is not coldness, it is courage. It is the ability to look at the chaos around you and say, "You do not move me." When your peace no longer depends on the approval of others or the circumstances of the moment, you have become powerful beyond measure. Emotional and spiritual detachment is the armor of the wise. It shields you from being tossed by every wave of emotion or disappointment. The one who can stand still in the storm commands the storm itself. To get your life in order, you must first clean the altar of your mind. Every thought you entertain is either building your destiny or destroying your focus. Remove the clutter of fear, comparison, and resentment, for these are the thieves of power. Begin each day with silence, not the silence of emptiness, but the silence of presence. In that sacred stillness, listen to the whisper of your higher self guiding you toward order, peace, and purpose. The second strategy is to decide what truly matters. A scattered life is a divided life, and division is death to purpose. Make a list of what truly feeds your spirit. Eliminate what drains it. The moment you choose what is essential, your mind will begin to obey your soul. This is the discipline of divine order learning, to say no not out of fear, but out of strength. Every no to distraction is a yes to destiny. The third strategy is emotional mastery. You cannot build a temple on the sand of unstable emotions. Train your feelings to serve your purpose. Feel deeply, but never become enslaved by those feelings. Emotions are visitors, let them come and go. Your power lies not in denying them, but in observing them without attachment. When you learn to feel without drowning, to care without clinging, to love without losing yourself, then you have touched true freedom. Fourth, take inventory of your environment. Your surroundings either nourish your vision or sabotage it. Clean your space, not just for beauty, but or clarity. Every object holds energy. Every corner of disorder whispers confusion to your subconscious mind. Bring order to your home, and you invite peace into your soul. Fifth, speak only words that align with your intention. Words are not mere sounds, they are frequencies that command reality. Do not speak what you do not wish to experience. Declare order, not chaos. Declare peace, not pressure. Your tongue is the rudder of your destiny, and every careless word steers your ship closer to confusion or closer to creation. Sixth, establish boundaries rooted in love, not fear. Boundaries do not imprison you, they protect your purpose. You cannot live in order if everyone has access to your energy. Guard your time as you would a sacred temple. When you respect your boundaries, the world begins to respect your being. Seventh, confront your habits. Every habit you keep is a declaration of who you believe yourself to be. If your habits do not reflect your highest self, they must be replaced. The power to change your life lies not in dramatic gestures, but in daily decisions. Order is not a one-time event, it is a rhythm you practice until it becomes your natural state. Eighth, forgive the past. Nothing keeps a life more out of order than unresolved bitterness. Forgiveness is not approval, it is release. You cannot move forward while dragging the corpses of old pain. Let go, not because they deserve peace, but because you do. Emotional detachment from the past is not amnesia, it is awakening. Ninth, cultivate gratitude. Gratitude is the harmonizing force of the universe. It transforms chaos into order, scarcity into abundance, fear into faith. When you give thanks for what you already possess, you align with the frequency of increase. The mind that complains multiplies problems. The mind that appreciates multiplies miracles. 10th, live from vision, not memory. The past is over. The future is waiting for your command. You cannot get your life in order by rearranging yesterday. Order comes from designing tomorrow with intention. Write down your vision and see it daily. Speak it, feel it, become it. The universe cannot resist a soul that knows what it wants and walks as if it already has it. There is no greater power than a mind in harmony with its purpose. When your thoughts, words, emotions, and actions operate in order, life itself begins to obey your command. The storms do not cease, but you cease to be moved by them. That is the mark of true mastery, to remain calm in the chaos, detached yet deeply alive, unbothered yet overflowing with purpose. Put your life in order today, not tomorrow, not someday today, because everything you desire is waiting for the version of you who has the courage to live in divine alignment, detached from illusion, anchored in truth, and fully awake to your own power. There comes a time when every soul must confront itself, a moment when you can no longer hide behind excuses, behind the noise of the world, behind the distractions that keep you comfortable in disorder. That moment is not a punishment, it is an invitation. Life itself is summoning you to rise into alignment, to bring order to the fragments of your existence, and to step into the authority that has always been within you. Everything begins the moment you decide to reclaim your own inner world. Most people believe that getting their life in order means fixing the outer things: money, relationships, schedules, appearances. But that is an illusion. True order begins in the unseen. It begins when you make peace with your own thoughts, when you master your own emotions, when you stop being the victim of circumstance and become the architect of consciousness. Because everything you see around you is merely the reflection of what is happening within. You cannot build a peaceful life on the foundation of a restless mind. A chaotic mind will produce a chaotic reality, no matter how hard you try to organize the surface. But when the mind becomes still, when your spirit becomes centered, life itself begins to obey that stillness. The storms outside calm because you no longer feed them with your fear. The problems that once terrified you lose their power because your energy is no longer tied to them. This is the divine secret of transformation. The outer world changes the moment your inner world is in order. The first work of alignment is awareness. You must see yourself without denial. The mind loves to run from the truth it blames, justifies, and distracts, but power begins when you stop running. Take a long look at your life. Every disorder you find outside is a mirror of disorder within. The clutter in your surroundings, the confusion in your relationships, the inconsistency in your habits, all of it originates from the patterns of your own thoughts. Do not condemn yourself for it, understand it. The moment you see the connection, you become free to change it. You must also understand that true order does not come from control, it comes from surrender. When you try to control everything, you live in fear. Fear of losing, fear of failing, fear of what others may think. But when you detach from the illusion of control, you open yourself to flow. Life is not meant to be forced. It is meant to be directed with wisdom. Detachment is not weakness. It is the mark of one who trusts the laws of the universe. The detached soul is unshaken by outcomes because they know that their worth is not tied to results, and their peace is not hostage to success or failure. Think of the great oak tree standing in the storm. The wind may roar, the rain may strike, but the oak remains unmoved. Its strength lies not in resistance, but in depth. Its roots go deep into the earth, drawing strength from something unseen. So too must you root yourself in something deeper than emotion, deeper than reaction, deeper than desire. When your roots are anchored in truth, no storm can uproot you. Detachment gives you that depth. It allows you to stand firm while everything around you changes. To bring order to your life, you must simplify. Complexity is the breeding ground of confusion. The more you chase, the more you scatter your energy. Decide what truly matters, what aligns with your purpose, what brings peace to your spirit. Everything else must fall away. Simplification is not loss, it is liberation. When you let go of what is unnecessary, you make room for what is sacred. Your time, your energy, your attention, these are holy currencies. Spend them wisely. Begin each day in silence. Let that silence be your sanctuary. Before the world awakens and tries to pull you in 100 directions, center yourself in quiet awareness. The mind that begins in stillness carries clarity throughout the day. In silence, the voice of wisdom speaks. It whispers the direction your life is meant to take. But you will never hear it if you fill every moment with noise, distraction, or fear. Stillness is where order begins. Your emotions are powerful servants, but terrible masters. If you allow them to rule you, they will pull you in circles of chaos. But if you learn to observe them, to feel without becoming enslaved, they will become your teachers. Every emotion has a message. Anger shows you where your boundaries have been crossed. Sadness reveals where you have not let go. Fear points to where you do not trust yourself. Listen, learn, but do not linger. You are not your emotions, you are the awareness behind them. Detachment allows you to see without losing yourself. Order requires discipline, but not the harsh kind that comes from self-punishment. True discipline is born of love for your potential, love for your future, love for your peace. Discipline is the daily act of honoring your higher self over your lower impulses. It is the quiet consistency of choosing alignment over distraction, purpose over pleasure, truth over convenience. Discipline is how the unseen becomes visible. It is how dreams become form. You must also be willing to forgive. Unforgiveness is mental clutter. It keeps your spirit heavy and your energy divided. When you refuse to forgive, you stay chained to the past, reliving the pain again and again. But forgiveness is not about condoning what was done. It is about freeing yourself from what was done. It is an act of detachment, a declaration that your spirit will no longer be held hostage by what cannot be changed. Gratitude, too, brings order. When you are grateful, your mind stops dwelling on what is missing and begins to appreciate what already is. Gratitude shifts your vibration from scarcity to abundance, from complaint to command. A grateful heart is a magnet for harmony because it aligns with the natural rhythm of life. Gratitude makes you present, and presence is power. Finally, understand that putting your life in order is not a single event, it is a way of being. It is the continuous act of aligning thought, emotion, and action with purpose. You do not arrive at order, you live it. Each day is a new opportunity to bring your inner world into balance. Each moment invites you to choose peace over panic, faith over fear, purpose over confusion. The moment you decide to live from order, the universe begins to rearrange itself to support you. People, opportunities, and ideas start to appear, not by chance, but by alignment. The energy of clarity attracts clarity. The vibration of peace attracts peace. You do not have to chase what is meant for you, flows toward you when you are ready to receive it. Detachment is the doorway. Order is the path. Mastery is the destination. Everything you have ever desired, peace, purpose, prosperity already exists within you, waiting for the moment you bring yourself into harmony with it. The journey begins the moment you say, enough of chaos, enough of confusion. I choose order now. And in that choice, everything changes. When you begin the sacred process of putting your life in order, the first truth you must accept is that you are the cause of everything you experience. This truth is not meant to burden you, it is meant to empower you. As long as you believe that your circumstances control you, you remain a prisoner of external forces. But when you accept that your outer world is a reflection of your inner condition, you regain command over your destiny. Every thought you permit, every emotion you nurture, every word you speak is a seed planted in the soil of your reality. And the garden of your life grows according to those seeds. The weeds of fear, doubt, and resentment grow where the seeds of love, clarity, and discipline have not been sown. To change the harvest, you must change what you plant within yourself. Most people seek change through movement, but true transformation comes through awareness. They chase new jobs, new partners, new surroundings, yet they carry the same disorder within them. You can change the scenery 1,000 times, but if the same mind walks with you, you will recreate the same chaos. Life will not give you peace until you learn to create peace from within. The path to order begins when you stop running from yourself. Sit with your own thoughts. Observe them. Do not judge them, understand them. See how your inner world has been shaping the outer one all along. That is where the real power lies. Emotional detachment is not about becoming numb. It is about becoming free. You cannot hold on to everything and expect to rise. Every attachment you carito people, outcomes, possessions, and opinions pulls at your energy. It drains your spirit and divides your focus. The person who must please everyone will never be able to follow the path of purpose. The person who must always win will never find peace. Detachment is the art of letting things be what they are while remaining centered in who you are. It is a declaration that your joy does not depend on anything outside you. When you detach, you stop begging for peace and start generating it. You become whole within yours. LF. And that wholeness radiates outward as strength, clarity, and influence. Understand this clearly. Nothing in life has power over you except what you believe has power over you. Situations have no meaning until your mind assigns one. Events cannot disturb you unless you grant them permission to. The moment you take back authority over your interpretation, you reclaim mastery over your life. When you look at adversity and declare, "This is here to strengthen me," the adversity itself transforms. What once appeared as an obstacle becomes a teacher. What once seemed like loss becomes liberation. Your power lies in perception, and perception becomes your reality. To bring order to your life, you must also learn to direct your energy with precision. Energy follows attention. Wherever your attention goes, your life flows. If your thoughts are scattered, your results will be scattered. If your attention is consumed by what others are doing, you drain the force that could be building your own destiny. You must become intentional with your focus. Each day, ask yourself, what am I feeding with my energy today? What am I creating through my attention? The universe does not respond to your wishes. It responds to your vibration. Your vibration is shaped by your focus. Guard it as you would a treasure. Another truth you must embrace is that order requires honesty. You cannot align with truth while living in self-deception. Many people maintain disorder because they refuse to confront what is real. They justify their laziness, rationalize their fears, and hide from responsibility. But growth demands truth. You must have the courage to look at yourself without denial. Ask yourself, where am I lying to myself? Where am I choosing comfort over purpose? The answers may hurt, but they will free you. Honesty burns illusions, and once illusion is gone, clarity emerges. To bring order, you must also simplify your surroundings and your relationships. Every object, every person, every commitment in your life should have a purpose aligned with your peace or your progress. If it does not, it is clutter. Physical clutter breeds mental confusion. Emotional clutter breeds spiritual exhaustion. Look around you. Is your environment in harmony with the future you desire? If not, clear it. Do the same with your associations. You cannot remain in the company of those who thrive on chaos and expect peace to flourish within you. Energy is contagious. Choose carefully whom you share it with. There will be moments when detachment feels lonely. You will look around and realize that you no longer resonate with the noise that once surrounded you. But that loneliness is sacred. It is the space where the old self dies and the new self is born. Do not rush to fill that space with distractions. Let it purify you. In stillness, you begin to hear the whisper of divine guidance. It is in those quiet spaces that purpose reveals itself, not through noise, not through crowds, but through communion. If your own spirit, you must also learn to act with purpose. Order is not found in endless planning, but in decisive action. The universe responds to movement, but that movement must come from alignment, not anxiety. When your spirit is in order, every step you take becomes powerful. You begin to sense timing, when to act, when to wait, when to release. This rhythm is what most people call intuition. It is not random, it is the natural intelligence of a soul that has found balance. Discipline is the sacred bridge between desire and destiny. Many wish for transformation, but few are willing to commit to the small, consistent actions that create it. You must treat your daily routines as rituals, not chores. Each morning spent in reflection, each act of gratitude, each moment of restraint when temptation arises, these are the invisible building blocks of order. The results may not appear instantly, but they will come. Life always rewards structure aligned with spirit. Forgiveness is another pillar of order. You cannot move into a new chapter while rereading the old one. The weight of resentment binds you to the past. It clouds your clarity and weakens your spirit. Forgive not because others deserve it, but because you deserve peace. The moment you release bitterness, you reclaim energy that was trapped in the past. That energy becomes available for creation, for progress, for joy. As your life begins to take form through order, do not become attached even to success. Detach from outcomes, but remain loyal to purpose. Success can distract as much as failure. The moment you begin to serve your ego rather than your mission, disorder returns in disguise. Stay humble, stay centered. Remember that you are not here to prove your worth, you are here to express your worth. There is a difference. One is rooted in fear, the other in faith. Every day presents a choice, order, or chaos. You choose with your thoughts, with your reactions, with your intentions. The more often you choose order, the more natural it becomes. Eventually, peace stops being something you chase and becomes the atmosphere you live in. And when your inner world is harmonized, the outer world rearranges itself to match your vibration. People treat you differently. Opportunities appear effortlessly. Solutions reveal themselves without struggle. This is not coincidence, it is law. The energy of order attracts everything that belongs to it. So begin now. Take ownership of your energy. Detach from what drains you. Simplify your world. Align your thoughts with truth. Move with intention. Speak with purpose, and remain still within. The power to bring your life into divine order has always been within you. You only needed to remember it. The moment you remember, the moment you reclaim that authority, everything begins to shift. The fog clears, the noise fades, and you realize that the universe was never against you. It was merely waiting for you to come into order, so it could meet you in harmony. When why? Oh, you finally make the decision to bring order into your life. You are not just rearranging habits, you are rewriting your destiny. You are declaring to the universe that you will no longer live by default, but by design. Everything that exists in chaos carries within it the potential for divine harmony. And the same law applies to you. You were never meant to live in confusion. Confusion is the natural state of a mind that has lost its connection to purpose. But the moment you begin to align your thoughts, emotions, and actions with that higher purpose, your entire vibration changes. The world responds differently because you have become different. The conditions of your life bend to the power of your clarity. The great secret that few ever discover is that order is not the opposite of freedom, it is the foundation of it. A life without structure is not free. It is enslaved to impulse, distraction, and uncertainty. True freedom comes when your choices are guided by discipline and not by desire, when your emotions no longer command you, when your fears no longer drive you, when your past no longer defines you. That is freedom. And freedom is only born in the soil of order. To live in order, you must learn to master the invisible forces that govern your life, your thoughts, and your emotions. Your outer world is a projection of your inner condition. If your inner dialogue is filled with worry, comparison, or resentment, no amount of external effort can bring you peace. You can chase success endlessly, but it will never satisfy you because the foundation is unstable. But when your mind becomes disciplined and your heart becomes calm, even the simplest of circumstances will bring you fulfillment. It is not what you have that determines your peace. It is the order within you that determines how you experience what you have. Detachment is the highest expression of that inner order. Detachment does not mean that you stop caring. It means you stop clinging. It means you stop depending on temporary things for permanent fulfillment. The detached soul knows that everything in life is transient. Seasons change. People come and go. Victories rise and fall. To tie your peace to what changes is to live in constant suffering. But to anchor your peace in something eternal, your truth, your purpose, your divine connection, is to live in unshakable power. When you detach from what you cannot control, you become unstoppable in what you can. There is a quiet confidence that surrounds a person who lives in order. They do not rush, they do not beg, they do not chase, they attract. Their energy commands respect because it is grounded in truth. They understand that patience is not inactivity but power under control. They know that everything meant for them will arrive in divine timing, and so they move with calm assurance. You can feel their presence before they speak, because order radiates like light. It does not demand attention. It draws it naturally. But to reach that level of mastery, you must pass through discomfort. Disorder will not leave easily. The old version of you, attached to chaos, fear, and self-doubt, will resist transformation. You will be tested by delay, by temptation, by the pull of old habits. These tests are not punishments, they are proofs. They exist to reveal whether your new order is built on sand or stone. Every challenge is an invitation to stand firm in your new identity. When life shakes you, respond not with panic, but with power. Remind yourself that storms do not come to destroy you. They come to expose your strength. There is also a sacred discipline in silence. Those who live in disorder often speak endlessly, seeking validation, explanation, and approval. But those who have found order understand that power grows in stillness. The more you talk about your plans, the more energy you leak. Learn to build in silence. Let your results make the noise. The universe respects those who create quietly. Words may inspire others, but silence strengthens you. To bring your life into full harmony, you must also heal your relationship with time. Disorder makes you believe there is never enough time, never enough progress, never enough achievement. But when you align with order, you realize that you are always where you need to be. The moment you stop fighting time and begin working with it, everything flows. Time bends to the focused mind. When you live intentionally, every minute carries purpose. You stop counting hours and start measuring impact. You move from urgency to alignment, from stress to flow. Order also demands purity of intention. Ask yourself why you want what you want. Many chase goals that are not born from their own truth, but from comparison or insecurity. But any desire not rooted in authenticity will create disorder when achieved. True order arises when your desires serve your spirit, not your ego. When you seek growth because it expands your purpose, not because it feeds your pride, the universe supports you. Every goal rooted in truth carries divine momentum. You do not have to force it unfolds. As you grow in order, you must guard your energy like a sacred fire. Do not allow negativity to extinguish it. Do not let gossip, drama, or envy take your peace. The world will always try to pull you back into disorder because order exposes confusion. When you refuse to engage with chaos, you begin to see how much of life's noise is meaningless. Protect your peace, even if it means walking alone. Solitude will teach you more about yourself than any crowd ever could. In solitude, you discover that you are enough. Gratitude is the vibration that keeps order alive. When you live with gratitude, you tell the universe, I am ready for more. Gratitude sharpens your focus. It shifts your attention from what's missing to what's present. It teaches you to see beauty in the ordinary. The grateful mind cannot remain in disorder because gratitude harmonizes every emotion. The moment you express sincere appreciation, your energy rises, and higher energy always creates higher order. But gratitude must be practiced, not merely spoken. It must become the lens through which you see your life. When challenges arise, find something to be thankful for within them. When delays occur, thank the divine timing at work. Gratitude turns frustration into faith, and faith is the architecture of order. The key is consistency. You cannot bring order by doing the right thing. Occasionally, you must live it daily. Every thought must be filtered through awareness, every emotion observed, every action aligned with intention. The more consistent you become, the stronger your foundation grows. Over time, order becomes effortless. It becomes who you are rather than something you do. You wake each day with clarity. You move through life with peace. You no longer react to respond. Remember, this life will always mirror your level of order. If you feel confusion, it is calling you inward. If you feel chaos, it is asking for clarity. The outer storm exists only to push you back to your inner stillness. Stop trying to fix the waves, become the calm sea beneath them. The moment you choose peace, the waves lose their power. Everything changes when you stop being controlled by emotion and start being guided by wisdom. When you detach from outcomes but stay devoted to purpose. When you stop chasing approval and start embodying truth. That is when order becomes your natural state. And when you live in that state, nothing can truly be lost, for what is aligned with you will always remain. The world does not reward chaos, it rewards coherence. The clearer your inner world, the brighter your outer world becomes. The moment you bring order to your spirit, everything else follows like shadow to light. There comes a point when you realize that everything around you is responding to the frequency you hold within. The state of your relationships, your work, your health, your peace, it is all reflecting the order or disorder in your mind and emotions. The moment you begin to understand this truth, you stop blaming circumstances and start transforming yourself. Life does not change through resistance, it changes through alignment. The world around you bends to the energy you consistently embody. That is why bringing your life into order is not about rearranging external pieces. It is about mastering the inner atmosphere from which everything is born. The foundation of order is awareness. You must become conscious of what governs your thoughts, emotions, and actions. Most people live unconsciously, repeating the same emotional patterns, reacting to the same triggers, running in circles of confusion without realizing they are the ones holding the wheel. Awareness breaks the pattern. It shines light on what was hidden. When you become aware, you reclaim the power to choose, and the ability to choose consciously is the first act of creating order. You begin to see that every moment offers you two paths: the path of reaction or the path of response. Reaction is born of emotion, response is born of mastery. The moment you choose response over reaction, you begin to rule yourself. The art of emotional detachment becomes the guardian of that inner kingdom. Detachment is not a denial of emotion, but a direction of it. It is the understanding that emotion is a messenger, not a master. When you are detached, you can feel deeply yet remain unshaken. You can love fiercely without losing yourself in attachment. You can face failure without surrendering your faith. You can experience change without fearing loss. Detachment does not take life away, it gives it meaning. It is the space between feeling and falling. It is the still point where wisdom lives. Many confuse detachment with coldness or indifference, but it is the opposite. Detachment is born of trust in the higher order of life, trust that every event carries purpose, trust that you are guided by something greater than circumstance. When you detach, you are not rejecting life, you are surrendering control. You release the illusion that everything must go your way for you to be at peace. You recognize that peace does not depend on the outer flow of events, but on the inner alignment of your being. This is what the wise have always known: to master yourself is to master your world. Disorder begins the moment you lose that alignment. When your emotions lead your decisions, when your fears shape your choices, when your desires cloud your judgment, you step out of harmony with truth. The result is confusion, exhaustion, imbalance. To restore order, you must return to the center. You must rebuild your connection with the eternal self, the part of you untouched by chaos. Spend time in stillness, not the stillness of emptiness, but the stillness that reconnects you with your essence. In silence, you remember who you are. And when you remember, clarity replaces confusion, confidence replaces fear, and order replaces chaos. Bringing order to your life also requires courage, the courage to release what no longer belongs. You cannot create a new reality while clinging to the old one. Letting go is not weakness, it is wisdom. It is the understanding that growth requires space. You must be willing to walk away from environments that disrupt your peace. habits that drain your energy, and attachments that cloud your vision. Every act of release strengthens your power because it reclaims your energy from what no longer serves your evolution. The lighter you travel, the higher you rise. Your words must also come into order. The words you speak are seeds of creation. Each one carries vibration, and that vibration shapes your reality. When you speak disorder, complaint, doubt, fear, you give it life. When you speak order, faith, clarity, purpose, you give direction to your destiny. Discipline your tongue as you would your mind. Speak only what aligns with your vision. Refuse to give voice to limitation. Declare P. CE, strength and abundance, and the universe will respond in kind. For speech is not mere communication, it is manifestation in motion. As you cultivate inner order, your relationship with time transforms. Disorder lives in the past and future regret over what was, anxiety about what will be. Order exists only in the now. The present moment is where power resides. When you are fully present, your mind stops scattering energy across time. You begin to see clearly, act precisely, and live intentionally. The mind that dwells in the present cannot be divided, and a unified mind is unstoppable. Time begins to cooperate with you because you are no longer fighting it. You become synchronized with life's natural rhythm, where every step unfolds in perfect timing. The practice of gratitude sustains that rhythm. Gratitude is the harmonizing frequency that keeps order alive. When you are grateful, you acknowledge the divine intelligence behind every detail of your existence. Gratitude transforms what you have into enough and what you are into abundance. It keeps your heart soft and your mind sharp. In the presence of gratitude, fear loses its grip, and frustration dissolves into faith. Make gratitude your daily discipline, and your energy will never descend into chaos. Forgiveness, too, is an essential act of order. Unforgiveness is energetic poison. It contaminates the mind and imprisons the heart. Every grudge you hold is a chain that binds you to the very pain you seek to escape. When you forgive, you do not excuse, you release. You declare that your peace is more valuable than your anger. You take back authority over your energy. In forgiveness, you make room for healing, and healing always brings harmony. To live in order is also to live with purpose. Without purpose, even success feels empty. Purpose is the compass of the soul. It directs your energy toward what matters most. When you know your purpose, your decisions become clear, your priorities align, and distractions lose their hold. Purpose gives structure to your days and meaning to your actions. It transforms ordinary tasks into sacred expressions of destiny. Every morning, remind yourself of why you are here, not just to survive, but to create, to grow, to give, to awaken. You must also learn to protect your energy with discernment. Not everyone can walk with you on the path of order. Some will misunderstand your stillness as arrogance, your detachment as distance, your focus as coldness. But remember, their misunderstanding is not your burden. The moment you prioritize your peace, you will outgrow the approval of those who thrive on chaos. Protect your boundaries not with hostility, but with quiet authority. You do not need to explain your evolution to those who are not ready to evolve. Ultimately, order is not about perfection, it is about alignment. You will still face challenges, but you will meet them differently. You will still experience emotion, but it will no longer control you. You'll still walk through storms, but you will not lose your center. That is the gift of order. It does not remove difficulty, it transforms your relationship with it. You cease to be a victim of life and become a co-creator of it. Everything around you begins to shift when you stand firm in that truth. Opportunities flow, clarity deepens, peace expands. The same situations that once triggered you now teach you. The same delays that once frustrated you now refine you. This is the beauty of living in divine order. Nothing is wasted. Everything has purpose. The universe is always aligning itself to the frequency of your inner state. When that state is order, life itself becomes your ally. So do not wait for calm to arrive, become the calm. Do not wait for life to organize, it will organize your spirit, and life will follow. The power you seek is not hidden in the future. It is alive in this very moment, in the quiet decision to bring yourself into harmony. The moment you do, you begin to see what was always true: nothing was ever against you. Life has only been waiting for you to step into order, because when you do, everything changes. When you truly understand the essence of life, you will realize that everything that once troubled you was only an invitation to awaken to your higher self. Every loss was a teacher, every delay a divine alignment, and every ending a sacred beginning. The moment you stop fighting what is and start mastering what you can become, your life begins to take shape with purpose, power, and peace. Order is not found by controlling the world, but by mastering the self. It is not achieved by forcing outcomes, but by surrendering to the wisdom that governs all things. When you detach from chaos, you do not become cold, you become centered. You stop reacting and start responding. You stop chasing approval and start attracting alignment. You stop needing to be understood and start understanding the truth within yourself. That is the silent victory of the soul. It is the point where you no longer need to prove your worth, because your actions reflect it. You no longer crave validation, because your spirit radiates confidence. Life does not require you to have all the answers. It asks only that you grow into the one who seeks truth with humility and courage. When your mind is disciplined and your emotions are governed by faith instead of fear, clarity becomes your natural state. From that place, your thoughts align with purpose, your words become creative power, and your life begins to move in harmony with the unseen intelligence that orchestrates all creation. Do not wait for the world to change before you put your life in order. Begin today where you are, with what you have, in the spirit of gratitude. Detach from what drains your peace. Release what no longer serves your growth. Forgive those who failed to see your light, and in doing so, free yourself from the chains of resentment. Life will begin to organize itself around your new vibra. Sean, everything changes when you do. Everything aligns when you rise. The moment you choose order over confusion, discipline over distraction, and peace over pride, the universe begins to conspire in your favor. The power you seek is already within you, only waits for your command, your decision, your readiness to step into divine alignment. Your life is a reflection of your inner state. Bring your mind to stillness, and your path will become clear. Bring your emotions into balance, and your relationships will heal. Bring your actions into integrity, and your destiny will unfold effortlessly. The key to mastery is not in doing more, but in becoming more aware, more disciplined, more aligned with truth. Remember, you were not born to live in disorder, fear, or confusion. You were born to create, to build, to transform, and to rise. The moment you take full authority over your thoughts, your emotions, and your purpose, you will stand as the master of your own fate and the architect of your destiny. Everything changes when you return to that truth.